Okay, thanks again, Leverage. Let me see if I can do this, as Willie would say, dissertation in a summarized version. First and foremost, my belief on Echolink. Excellent product. Excellent idea. Most definitely should be installed and run on every single repeater system throughout the country. Why? It gives, and this is the only advantage from my perspective, it gives every single radio amateur who does not have radio equipment the communication capabilities using either their cell phone or their PC. And especially for the older generation, when we get to the point where we can't see, we might not be able to afford equipment. This is probably one of the best ways of getting radio amateurs up. Second major advantage, it does allow the international contacts on the inbound link. Let me clarify that. When a Echolink server runs on this repeater, anybody throughout the world will see it listed, can connect to the node, can call in and communicate with anybody in South Africa or anybody who is listening to this repeater or is connected to that Echolink node. Now that is where the advantages of Echolink stop. There are no further advantages. I know a lot of the clubs, and it's caused major issues. There's a lot of the clubs that are running these so-called beacons and the CW that can be put up there and everything else. Guys, I want you to listen carefully to me. I might not have been an amateur for long, but I have sat here in the last 5 years and listened to 7 individual repeaters all day. The 700, when they introduced their Echolink, within a year, their repeater usage dropped by 95%. Michael and Colin and maybe Graham and maybe Angus will come up every now and again today. Listen to the 7875 during the day, guys. You can count the number of users that come up after the Porkies Club on one hand. And that's right the way through until the time I actually switch off. And Rex has got a point. When I switch off somewhere between 9 and 11 at night, you can count your members, your users on one hand today. Whereas 3-4 years ago, 7875 used to rock the same way the 650, the 625, and the 700 did. Now, being who I am, I've asked many of the amateurs who have been on these repeaters, why are you not there? Echolink notifications, CW has killed it. Please, guys, you've got radio amateurs that are too afraid to come to the leadership for fear of victimization. That is a given fact. And I can tell you now, and Berridge knows about this, like many other people probably do. When I raised this point and I asked nicely for the notifications to be turned off because one, it is inconsiderate. You're busy having a QSO and the Echolink notification just talks right over you. So-and-so connected, so-and-so disconnected, so-and-so connected, so-and-so disconnected. So-and-so connected, so-and-so disconnected. Guys, can you imagine if our radios had those modules in? Not one of us would keep our radios on. The second thing that happens is you're driving down the road and, you know, you get this and you get that and you're busy talking to the wife, the kids, whatever. You turn the volume down. You never turn the volume back up again. Many people just don't turn their radios on. And I wish that the leadership and the Echolink server masters would stop having issues and problems when other people step forward and say things. And Dave, you were right. When you were doing your test, and Willie's also right, she sounds very electronic. But there was another signal there with a DTMF code. And I want to cover the DTMF code. For us on the road or even at another base station, knowing that Echolink is operational is absolutely irrelevant. Because there's nothing that we can do to activate a communication protocol or QSO with another station anywhere else in the world. Unless two criteria are met. The Echolink server's DTMF tones input has been activated and the mobile station has got a DTMF capable mic. That means that that station then knows that he needs to know a particular node number to activate and connect via a Echolink server to another Echolink server in order to have a DX copy. So there is absolutely no reason why that DX capability should even be brought up with Echolink on the outbound. It only works on the inbound. You can't record that contact for work to all purposes or context purposes or otherwise. Then the other thing is, when these things are going off all night, those of us that choose, and we've got a legal licensed right to choose to monitor a particular frequency when everybody goes to bed. And we are being forced off with these beacons. That is not fair. That is not considerate. I also have a theory as to how this thing actually works with regards to the regulations, the announcements, and that type of thing. Berridge, I'm going to send you a link. I did a presentation, a presentation. It is up on YouTube. Share it. I'm not attacking Echolink at all, guys. But when a radio amateur goes to another radio amateur and says to a radio amateur, if you don't like it, go to another frequency, then we've got some serious problems. And this has happened to many radio amateurs, and I've been subject to it via, I think, 7 or 8 other individual radio amateurs that have made the same statements to me. And my attitude is, you're out of line, dude. You've got no right to tell another radio amateur to come off air. I'm not against Echolink. It really and truly must be implemented. And it should be activated. Then you've got the emergency communication aspect of it. We've got many elderly people who have got cell phones at home that could in actual fact connect up and have their phone connected, that if something were to happen to them in the evening, the rest of us that would like to monitor the various frequencies may be able to reach out and assist them. And that is something that we also need to and should consider. It is one of the major roles of amateur radio worldwide. And I don't see why MCOM operators should also be subjected to abuse through the attitude and the communications. Now, I know Berich said, no, he'd rather discuss this on another platform. My apologies, Berich. But I am of the opinion that this should be discussed openly. The truth should never be discussed under the counter, behind closed doors, because it has annoyed a lot of people, and a lot of people are no longer on air because of it. Hopefully, Errol has connected and come up. I'm glad he went up. And Dave, well done. You brought up a second Echolink. Errol can connect. And he's happy about it. And I'm happy for Errol. Even though there might be a misconception that I wanted Echolink removed. No. Take away the notifications, take away the aggravations, and all the rest of it. The other thing Echolink the other thing that Echolink users need to consider, or masters need to consider, is there are times that your Echolink gets caught in a loop. So a cell phone connects and it goes connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect. So if you leave Echolink as an unattended station, as I say, watch the video, because I believe that it should be licensed as an unattended beacon station in the beacon portion of the band, not up here where the voice communication repeater is sitting. So just think about that quickly. ZS6 BFL in the group, ZS6 OPS. And there's the DTMF also trying to keep people out. Yeah, it's a terrible signal, eh? Yeah, no, battery use when it comes to Echolink and these apps, they really and truly charge the living daylights out of cell phones. Yesterday, I was quite surprised. I haven't done anything with my cell phone for 2 days. Normally by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I'm at 20% and then I'm going to get it on charge. And yesterday, 1800, and I was at 80% and I didn't know what I did differently. But anyway, yeah, no, Betty, you're right about, don't take the decision on your own. The committees must in actual fact do it. My argument is I'm not joining any club. I will support every single radio amateur club without any qualms. Just don't give me a hard time, because if you're going to be a tyrant, then I probably won't. But my argument is quite simply, when the committees sit down to decide, they should all be aware of all the pros and the cons, not just the pro or the con, because it just skews things all together. I know, sorry, frog in the throat, Z6IP is returning. I know that it was said, John, that, at least people driving around know the repeater's working. Well, here's a novel idea, guys. If you're driving around or even at home and you want to know if the repeater's working, why don't you key up, announce yourself, and maybe have a chat with somebody? And as Rex said, even if it is at 9 o'clock, somebody else might come back up. And Rex, yeah, I heard that as well the other night. So I also thought it a bit strange that Echolink was up, but maybe somebody at Crossband off of one of the other repeaters. So I'm not too sure. I know that you didn't call up, but I also heard them. To use a repeater to monitor security, I think it's just absolutely pathetic. Is that what amateur radio is becoming? Because if it is, I should have remained as I was and not become an amateur. And yeah, Dave, I've sent Berridge a link. Just have a chat with him there. Berridge, you can give anybody my number. I'm not trying to fight. I'd rather grow amateur radio and get people back up on air. Berridge, you mentioned the call sign ZU, correct? That would be the compliance side of the regulations. But then it actually dispels the whole argument of you advertising your club, because nobody knows what ZU9 what is. So therefore, my line of thought is, why put it there in the first place? If the guy really doesn't know, he has another novel idea. Pick up a microphone and ask which repeater I'm on. You might actually end up chatting to somebody. Anyway, there we go. We're coming up for 9. I'm going to bail out. Now that I stirred the pot, I actually wanted to ask the question about FT8, but we'll do that at another time, another controversial subject. But again, guys, everybody to their own. Each and every single one of us can make use of the technology, even if it might not be pure RF. There are some advantages and there are disadvantages. ZS6BFL in a group, ZS6IP, 7-3 until later.
Okay, and you can take your wheelchair vehicle. Just gonna run a few bit. But anyway, there are a few other things. Get over the family there and insist that he